20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city. I got you. Rep your city. I'm gonna tell you about mine. Rep your city.
It's time for us to go live, so rep your city. I really would appreciate if y'all roll with me. Feeling this music cause it makes me wanna step. And if you don't want it to, then you lying to yourself. Cause every time we party, we gon' have fun. I don't know about you, but I'ma rep where I'm from.
Rep your city. Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city.
Welcome to the RYC Live show this evening. And we are back once again with another fresh episode of Rep Your City Fresh Fridays. Yes, we do this each and every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we are broadcasting live from Chicago, which is our base. And we circulate around the globe. So we have our special guest tonight, Marchelle, and she is a Chicago, let's put emphasis on it now, Chicago Soul Train dancer. And I'm not going to claim to know her history. I'm going to let her tell her own story. So we're going to bring her from the backstage area, and she's going to share her highlights during her time on Soul Train, and we can talk about any of her other contributions that she'd like to share. If you all have any questions for her, you could make sure you type it in the comment area. If you have any comments that you like, please do so. But before we bring her out, I'd like to just ask everyone if you can please share this broadcast. Sharing is caring. So share this broadcast and participate and engage with us. It's going to be an interesting topic for discussion. We have our weekend event this weekend, Brandy's Disco Ball. And so everybody's getting excited. Everybody's pulling out their bell bottoms, and some people may be picking out their afros and things and what have you. So we're gonna have a grand time. But I'm so excited to hear the Chicago story, because it's almost been like somewhat of a myth that even though Soul Train was born here in Chicago, it went to California the year after it was born here. And then it almost seems like as if we just disappeared, in so many ways, right? But tonight we have a special treat. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Marchelle, and I'm going to let her come on out and tell her story. All right. There she is.
Hi, everyone.
Hey. So Marchelle, now how do you pronounce your last name?
Blount.
Blount. Okay, I was just trying to make sure I didn't want to mispronounce it.
Yeah.
So let me put in our backstage template for all the viewers here. There we go. So there we go. And let's put the name on here, glamour things up a little bit. So we got this right down here at the bottom. Okay. Yeah. So welcome to the RYC Live show this evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing well.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. We thank you, and we appreciate you for taking out the time of your day to come on the show tonight and share your story.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So what we like to normally do is go all the way back to the beginning. And since you were somewhat of an early Soul Train dancer, we like to kind of know, where did you come from in Chicago? Like, what area were you from? What school did you go to? And what made you want to get into dance? Or were you always a dancer?
Um, I was always a dancer. I always did love music. My dad used to always talk about how when I was a little baby, he used to play his music all the time, and how I used to always moving around. And one time he said I was moving around so much, I was sitting on. My mom laid me down on the couch,
Mhm.
and he said he had some music on. I just kept moving around till I eventually fell out the couch. And my mom thought I was really hurt, but I wasn't. So yeah, but I was. He
Wow.
said when he used to play his guitar and everything, I was always around the house dancing and everything. So I always did love to dance. Yeah, and I always practice on my own all the time and taught myself how to dance. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so let's talk about you coming up in Chicago during those early stages. I know for me, like I watched Soul Train as a youngster coming up. You know, our family, every black family in America, for the most
Mhm.
part, watched Soul Train when it was, you know, when it came on the weekend, and
Yeah.
and see back then I did not even know where Soul Train was at. Because I never got a chance to go onto the show. I didn't know where it was filmed. And all I know is when I seen black faces like myself on television,
Hmm.
that was enough to keep me tuned in to the television along with my family and look at the fashion and listen to the music and watch the dance styles. You know, so that always kept us entertained, right?
Right. Right.
So, but for people like yourself, you had a greater privilege by actually dancing on a show. So, what
Yes.
I would like to know, like, how did that happen? And for anyone that's watching, we got viewers tuning in, kind of walk them down the path as to how your first encounter of getting on Soul Train occurred.
Well, when it first started in 1970, I was always watching it all the time, and I just couldn't wait to get on there myself.
Hmm.
So I ended up calling one time. I had to sneak and call while my mother was in the kitchen and trying to find out how I can get on Soul Train. They said, well, first of all, you have to be 14 years old and have to be in ninth grade, and that's how you get on Soul Train. I did this when I was about like 11 years old, trying to figure
Wow.
out how to get on there.
Right.
So when I finally was 14, that summer I called and let them know that I'll be entering high school and I would love to be on Soul Train. So they took my name down and everything, my number, and then my address, and that's when they sent me the tickets in the mail. So when I was in ninth grade, I had my grandmother cousin made my outfit and everything, and so I couldn't wait to get there and show my outfit off. And when I got that, I took the L. Everybody called it the L, the
Right.
subway.
Right.
And so I went, and when I got downtown, it was already a long line all the way around the corner. It was all the way down the corner. And I was dressed up like one of the lockers. I had my cap because I always did love Shabba-Doo. He was my favorite. So I was all dressed up like him, with the knickerbockers and the socks and everything, the gloves. And everybody was checking me out, as I was walking the end of the line. And so I had the sequins and everything on my outfit. And so George, Duncan's assistant, he came and he had the pen and the paper was going down and checking the kids out, who they were in the show. And he'll pass some kids by. Then he saw me and he was like, yeah, you get here, come here. And so it was like a few kids and we followed him and then went upstairs. I'm in the elevator and then went up to the top floor and there I was. We
Uh-huh.
had to stand and wait because they had the regular featured dancers first dancing, and we had to stand and wait, and then after that, they'll tell a few people to go on the floor.
Okay.
So I was lucky that day because Don was there.
So
Yeah.
so did you go down there that first time by yourself?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Were you afraid at all at any moment? I mean, did you have any fear about, going down there by yourself?
No, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, because like I've heard some stories where people say their mom took them down there or some family member, and but you
Yeah.
literally got on the train and went down there by yourself.
Yeah, after school, and I couldn't
Wow.
wait.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is, and then you came back home by yourself.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Did you meet anybody that day? Did you meet any new friends that day?
I met Jermaine Stewart the
Okay.
first day, and
Oh,
he saw me dance. And after the show was over, he came up to me, introduced himself, and said, "Girl, you can dance." He told me, "You
yeah.
could dance." Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and we, hit it off that same day. Became friends, and I met some other people on the show, and I met Wayne Ward. He was
Oh.
always a big flirt. Every time the new girls come on there, he come, try to hit he was a mess. Came up to
Okay.
me, introduced himself, I'm Wayne from the Puppets, and what's your name? I told him Marchelle. He's like, oh, you can dance, and we exchanged numbers and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm gonna have to get on him when I see him here when he comes here to Chicago. I'm saying, oh, I heard some things about you.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. Almost got me in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Some other girl he was talking to that day.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let me just see here. Because this is interesting. So what year was it that you got on Soul Train officially?
It was 1974, September.
So you had
Yeah.
been watching it since its beginning all the way up until you got on in 1974.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. And was it uh let's see, was it what you expected, or did it exceed your expectation, or what was it? What was the experience like?
I thought the studio would have been a little bigger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was so small.
Right.
Yeah, all cramped up.
Right.
And they had this curtain hiding everything.
Okay.
So it was really small studio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they made it look bigger
On
on
TV.
on TV, but
Yeah.
really it was really small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I also heard, and I don't know if this came from you or someone else, but I also heard that at some points, the studio, because it being so small, and when all those kids came down there, those young people came down there, they had to kind of take turns where only so many people could go in the studio while the others stayed out in the lobby area or whatever, in the hallway or whatever. And then
Yes,
they would,
that's correct.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. They used to switch it up with the new dancers. The featured dancers, they always had their spot
Uh-huh.
in front of the camera. Yeah. And so the new people had to, they had to like get you on the floor and tell you where to go. So
Uh-huh.
mostly you start off in the back
Uh-huh.
at first, and then you have to move your way up, so you
Okay.
can be up in the front.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't, but since the studio was so small, it wasn't like the studio in California where they had high risers and different levels. You know what I'm saying? There was no stage there, right?
They had they had a platform,
Okay.
like a little platform, and only like the featured dancer could dance on that,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, or maybe we might have a guest celebrity. That's when they bring the platform out or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a mobile stage that they would bring in and out.
Yes.
Okay. 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 So did they do the scramble board back when you were on the local show?
They had this. Don started the scramble board like when it first started,
Uh-huh.
but then when I was on there, they didn't do the scramble board. They did some other things, where they picked certain dancers and they introduced them. That's what they did
Okay.
when I got on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was a typical day on Soul Train when you were on the show?
Um, Trying to get there. Once you become a featured dancer, you don't have to stand in line or anything.
Okay.
You just go there and just get on the elevator. You know, once you get there, you try to get your outfits together.
Mhm.
And the featured dancers, they would stand on one side, and the new people would stand back. So, and then they'll tell the featured dancers go on first, and then we'll do our thing. So,
Okay. Did you have a dance partner?
Daryl Holcomb.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I met him on the first day too.
Oh wow.
So, because when you knew, they just give you a partner,
Right.
and so they gave me this one guy. He was so stiff, and he was cute guy, but he just couldn't dance. He had on like cute little outfit and everything, but Daryl, he was dancing with someone. He kept checking me out, and I was checking him out.
Okay.
And so after the show, he came up to me and introduced himself as well. And he was like, "Do you have a dance partner?" I said, "No." He said, "You want to be my dance partner?" I said, "Yes." Then we became dance partners, and every weekend we would practice, so we have our steps. Yeah. And when we came down Soul Train line, we were working it, me and Daryl.
Okay.
And yeah, because he would flip me over his back, and then I'll flip him over my back.
Oh
And then
wow.
we both would split at the same time. And yeah,
Wow.
we would practice every weekend
Where did you all practice?
over his house.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. And you all were in high school at the time, right?
in high school.
And what high school did you go to?
I went to Farragut High School.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
Emeralds.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That's interesting. Wow. So they
yeah,
call them featured dancers.
yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, because I know I've been hearing this story from a lot of people in terms of how they select you, but what makes them select you?
Um, your outfits, the way you dance.
So when you're standing in line, did they ask you to do a few moves so they could check out your dance style, or
No,
how did I mean like if you're standing in a line and they're coming down with the pen and the pad, what are they observing to say, I want you? You come on. Like outside,
so
I know they're looking at your outfit, but just because you got on a nice outfit don't necessarily mean you can dance.
right, like the cute guy that they picked for me.
Right.
He was dressed, you know, really well, but he couldn't dance though.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, how did they determine whether you were going to be good for the show just by looking at you? Like, that's why I asked, did they ask you to do a little step or what? How did
no,
that
they
work?
didn't. They just select people by their, I guess, by their outfits. How they
Okay.
look.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Did they have did they do like a pre-interview with you to ask you certain questions to kind of identify like, oh yeah, she's a good, I think we could definitely use her. Or did they just say, you come on?
just you come on. And George was so serious too. He didn't have time to play games. He was that type of person. Like you, let's go. Come
That's
on.
interesting. I'm trying to imagine like how. Okay, because I know like when I was a break dancer back in the early '80s. I started dancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we were dancing, we always formed crews. Like you all had Soul Train was about couples,
Mm-hmm.
but I was a street dancer. So we were about crews, and one of the things that we used to always do is recruit people in our crew. But in order to get in the crew, we needed to see you dance, and so it was just like you got to do something so that we can see what you got and if you're going to be a good fit in our crew. So I'm just trying to imagine like how they were trying to look at all these young people standing in a line and just picking people out at some point, like, and like you say, Daryl, he looked nice, but he
Oh,
really
you
didn't.
said no. There was another guy. His name wasn't Daryl.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So like you say, that guy, he looked
I don't even
nice.
remember his name.
He looked nice, but you say he couldn't dance.
Right.
So if did at any point do you remember where they might have picked somebody and then they got him on there and it's like, oh, wait a minute, he can't even dance.
I don't think they picked him to come back.
Oh, okay, I see.
But George, after he saw me dance that day, he after the show he pulled me to the side and told me he wanted me to be a featured dancer, regular dancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how because Daryl was already on there when my first appeared on the show. He was already dancing on there.
He was already dancing. Okay.
Yeah.
So they did kind of observe you, and then that would let them know whether or not they wanted to select you to be a featured dancer.
Yes.
Okay. So what was like your signature moves? What did you specialize in?
Doing the robot.
Oh.
And by the way, my nickname was Dancing Machine in high school.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Because I was always in the talent shows, dancing all the time.
Wow.
So, yeah. And a lot of kids used to watch me dance on Soul Train. I saw you on Soul Train. Yeah. So
you had a nice robot, huh?
Yeah, the robot.
Could you do the backslide as well?
They really didn't have the backslide around that time.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Just basically the robot,
Okay.
The one that Michael Jackson used to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I used to do, I guess I forgot what they call that dance. With the arms, I used to do that, all the time.
The locking?
Yeah, the locking.
Oh, so you lock you.
I guess they call I forgot what they call that one style, but I used to do this all the time, and people used to remember me doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then this here.
Okay. There was another dance style that originated from some of the guys in California called whacking.
That's what whacking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that up, because I was trying to remember. I knew it started with a W.
Yeah.
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 And I got that from Shabba-Doo.
Yeah, he was a master at it. In fact, I thought he created it, but I think it was created mostly by the guy that's deceased now, Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Yeah.
I used to watch him dance too, and Sharon Hill.
Uh-huh.
And my favorite was Pat Davis.
Oh yeah.
And Demeter Joe Freeman.
Yeah.
And when I used to hold my leg up like that, I got that from Demeter Joe Freeman.
Yeah, because because she was a ballerina.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. And you can tell dancers when they have additional training in some other discipline. Like you can literally look at Demeter and tell that she has ballerina training.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah. Or even some people that may have a gymnastics background. If they're doing a lot of flipping and stuff like that, handstands and stuff like that, you can tell that they might have a little gymnastics background.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So was that one of your signature moves, holding up your leg?
Yeah.
Okay.
And doing the split.
Oh, okay.
Going down the Soul Train line.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. What were some of your favorite songs do you recall back then listening to, dancing off of, that you liked?
I guess it was Brass Construction. Moving On.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
And I think I used to love Cut the Cake.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, by Average White Band. Yeah. I used to
Nice.
love dancing off of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shining Star by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember any of the local groups that actually did performances on the show while you were there? Like some people have these fond memories of oh, I remember when Gladys Knight, or I remember when you know Stevie Wonder was on there. So do you have any favorites of your that you can recall?
I was excited to see Donna Summer
Okay.
when she came on there.
Okay.
And the Shy Lights, they used to come on there all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
that makes sense because they were from Chicago. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's cool. That did you all get a chance to? Now let me ask you. Now I've heard this story about Don feeding a lot of the dancers at Kentucky Fried Chicken or KFC. Did you all get that here in Chicago?
No, that was LA.
Oh, that was only in LA.
Yeah. We see with the Chicago Soul Train, we used to dance every day from Monday through Friday
Okay.
after school.
Okay.
And they did tapes, I forgot how many times a month.
Okay.
But we were there like Monday through Friday. Yeah. So
you guys did it like 5 days a week.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did like what did y'all eat? Like all that dancing, what did y'all eat?
We used to meet all the time, sometime after the show, and just we had our favorite pizza place. I forgot the name of that place, it's been so long ago, but sometimes we will all end up at Burger King and playing around.
Okay.
Yeah. So
they didn't
sometimes we go there.
They didn't necessarily feed y'all. Y'all had to pretty much get your own food.
Yes.
Okay. we got a comment that came in here. Okay, so T says, ask her how many years did she dance on Soul Train?
I danced from 74 to 76.
74 to 76. All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's what's up. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question, T. Yeah. So, this is just so interesting because, like I could only imagine like how much, how fun that must have been to actually watch the show and then actually get on the show.
Mm-hmm.
How did your family react once you got on there?
Oh, they were very excited, especially
Yeah.
my grandparents and
Okay.
my grandfather. He really was. Oh, he used to be so excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my mom. Yeah.
Wow.
And my dad. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, and it's so interesting, and I appreciate you for this because it's interesting to hear the differences between Chicago Soul Train versus LA Soul Train.
Right.
Like I got to make that distinction now. Like Chicago didn't get KFC.
No, we didn't.
Look, they complained about the KFC out there in LA, but Chicago didn't even get KFC.
We didn't get anything. We may have only thing we maybe some free T-shirts or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't get anything.
Wow. Yeah. And you all worked with you say George?
Yes.
Did you also work with Clinton Gent?
Clinton Gent became the host
Okay.
after Don left.
Right.
Yeah. So Don, he was traveling back and forth from LA to Chicago, from Chicago to LA, and it was getting too hectic for him. So that's when Clinton Gent took over.
Okay.
Became an official host.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So was Clinton and George there during that time together?
George was there, yeah.
Okay. And George
Yeah.
was what was his title?
He was like, he had many titles. He was always running around the studio, sometimes working with the camera, getting the kids, together on the dance floor. And, he's doing a lot of things, George. Yeah.
Wow. 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 That's so amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's do this. What we're gonna do, we already 30 minutes into the show, and it's very interesting. I love it. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we
Okay.
come back, we'll pick up where we left off. Uh,
Okay.
you all are watching the RYC Live Show. I am your host for tonight. My name is Artistic, and we have our special guest, Marchelle, and we will be right back.
Wanna fight once more, my style. Fight me. We came here to battle.
Bruce Lee in the mix, right here, RYC Live. Tell me, I did not just beat him.
You're pretty good.
Welcome back to the RYC Live Show, and we have our special guest tonight, Marchelle, and we thank you so much. So far your story is so interesting, and we still got a little bit more to talk about before we conclude our show tonight.
Okay.
Let me just pull back up your name here on the screen, and I want to talk about. Let's see here. Hold on one moment here. There we go. I want to talk a little bit about what they call the industry. So did
Okay.
Soul Train, did it lead to for you in any way where some people got into doing television or movies or fashion or other outlets? It became like a channel for other outlets that most people eventually went on to do bigger and greater things. And
Mhm.
and for some, that's the reason why they left Soul Train. What was that
Mhm.
like for you? Because you went from 74 to 76. Why did you stop in 76?
Because that's when the show ended.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So was you sad? When
Yes.
that happened.
Yes, I was. Yes.
What did you all do after that?
We were still performing,
Okay,
doing shows.
okay.
Um, we did a show with Kool and the Gang after that,
Hmm.
and just doing the local parts and things like that.
Okay,
Yeah. And then after that, I went to 78. I went to Columbia College after that.
okay,
Yeah. And then 79. That's when I started working at Dean Bass with Mr. T when he was the bouncer.
oh
So
wow,
I started working there. What
okay.
happened was this one dancer that was there, she was always going out of town all the time,
Uh-huh.
and she needed someone to take her place. And she told me about it. I met her through. Oh, that's right. After 76, I forgot. John Q Entertainment Scene came on. Came on the scene around that time. So
What was the name of it?
John Q Entertainment Scene
Okay,
took the Soul Train place, and so I started dancing on there.
okay,
So Duro, he didn't want to do any more of it, so I had to end up getting another dance partner,
okay,
and so I started dancing on there. And then there was another TV show called Step by Step. I started dancing on there.
okay. Wow.
So but I started end up dancing at Dean Bats, and then and the owner, Ron Brisman, he saw me dance. And he was like, "Who is that?" They said, "Oh, she's taking somebody's place tonight." He was like, "No, she's a keeper." Yeah. So I ended up. She came back and she's like, "I'm not mad at you, girl. You got the job.
Oh, so you took somebody's job.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And she said she wasn't mad, huh?
Yeah. She came back and Ron told her, um, she's gonna be dancing now. So
Wow.
yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm not mad at you. I'm okay."
Right,
Yeah.
right. Wow, that's interesting. So, did you ever do any kind of commercials or anything, outside of dancing in the on TV and in perhaps any clubs?
I used to dance at the Park West too.
Okay.
Dance with Phil Collins, Genesis. Um, did a dance behind El Giro
Okay.
before, and just different artists that came to town. I used to dance behind them.
Okay.
Then in 1981, I ended up meeting Prince. So
Okay. Now we got to, now we got to talk about Prince because I seen the picture of you with the guitar, and I know there's a story because I read a little bit about it, but I want you to talk about it. 'Cause we can't just mention Prince and not talk about that.
I met him at I was at the Rick James concert,
Uh-huh.
and first I met Rick James. I went there early before they the show started, and I met him. He said, "Oh, I like the pink pants you got on." So he's like trying to get me backstage. I was some told me don't go to Rick. So I ended up leaving, but then I came back for the show. My sister was with me, and we really was looking for Prince.
Right.
And so he was walking around. So Prince came on first, and then after that, Rick James.
Uh-huh.
And so we were walking around, and all of a sudden, my sister said, "That look like Prince right there," because he was trying to disguise himself.
Uh-huh.
He had like a fake beard, and he had this fur jacket on, and so I went up to him and said, "Hey, Prince." He's like, "I'm not Prince." I said, "Yes, you are." And he was like, he was like, like disappointed because I noticed that was him.
Right.
And so then he said, hurry up and get in front of me. And so I got in front of him. He said, I'm trying to get away from this girl. She's been bugging me all night. And so, so I stood in front of him.
Wow.
So the girl's looking for him. So she was doing this, so she left. And then we ended up talking and everything that night. And he wanted to know, where to go and everything, where's the hottest places. And I told him about the warehouse and the other place I was dancing at, Coconuts.
Okay.
I said you probably don't like the warehouse. That's what I told him. And I told him about Deanbats too. I said, I don't think you're gonna really like Deanbats that much, that crowd. But warehouse, I know you're gonna like. So he was so excited about that,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you danced, you used to go party at the warehouse also, huh?
Yes. I know Frankie Knuckles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How was that experience? Because I've never been to the warehouse when it was active.
Oh, it was beautiful.
But I've heard stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Frankie used to tear it up.
Really? Really?
Yes, he did. I mean, I feel bad for these young kids now because they never had a party like we used to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. Was there any other DJs outside of Frankie? Because I know Ron Hardy was around, but didn't he spin there sometime too? Or
yes,
no?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard they had a really nice Richard Long sound system too in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could hear the music as you walking up the street.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the first time we was trying to find a warehouse, really we was underage.
Right.
It was me, my best friend at Runner Wilson that used to dance on Chicago Soul Train, Debbie. We used to always we had really was underage to get it, but we got in there. But when we was trying to find it for the first time, all we heard was that music going boom, boom, boom. We said, "Oh, we getting close to it now."
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard some people that were underage, they would get fake IDs.
We had the fake IDs too. And my father only knew.
Oh wow! What'd you say? Let's try not to incriminate you, huh?
I was supposed to say that.
Wow, and I understand because there's a DJ here in Chicago named Lori Branch.
Okay.
And Lori said she used to go to the warehouse during those days. She's a female DJ, and she said that the parties would start like 12 o'clock and go to
12 o'clock, 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning. Yeah, I'm like, wow.
And it'll be like a few people still dancing on the floor.
Wow.
Because some people just gave up and just gone and go home, and
yeah, we
were still dancing on the floor.
Wow. So Frankie was getting down on there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How about there was another club that I understand, and this may be a little earlier too, but I want to say it was around in the 70s. But I heard it was a club up north on, I want to say, Rush Street called Faces.
Faces,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear or go to that spot?
I didn't go there.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I heard about it though.
Okay. Yeah. See, so and that's why it's so good to have these conversations, because if you wasn't there,
mm-hmm.
then you obviously wouldn't know outside of hearing it coming from someone else that was there.
Yeah.
And then that's just good to continue to keep the history alive and share insight on what other people have told you, and see how the stories line up.
Yeah, we was always at the warehouse.
Okay.
Then they had another club. some other club after that called the Shelter.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and they had it like kind of like arranged like a shelter, like
Okay,
when you
okay.
walk in, and the floor, the way they had the floor, like you going to fall in it or something, you know, the way it was the stairs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like 3 floors,
Okay. Where was
and
it
then they
located?
had, I forgot where it was located.
Okay.
I know it was not too far from where the warehouse was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I went there a few times. It wasn't really my spot though. The
Okay.
Shelter. Yeah, so
Okay. So when Prince went to the warehouse, did he like it?
I didn't even get a chance to even. That's a whole nother story. I didn't
Okay.
even get a chance to go out with him that night because one of the guys that was working with him, um, when I was standing there, because Prince he went backstage, and the guy that worked with Prince was trying to talk to me too, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. And he's like, oh, okay, so you just want to be talking to Prince. But anyway, Prince said to meet him by the stairway. No, he said, we're going to come and get you. And just, you know, to stand by the stairway. It was so many stairways. I said, which stairway? He said, just pick one.
Uh-huh.
And we're supposed to come out and get you, you know. And so my sister and I, we were so happy that night, excited, and we just picked the stairway. And so, you know, after the concert, after Rick James, we stood there and we just standing there. And they said, you all have to leave. I said, oh no, Prince is supposed to be coming out to get us. Everybody's waiting on Prince. You all have to go, you know.
Right.
So we're outside and waited. And so Prince, no anywhere. And my sister, she had on this little short little jacket. It was freezing that night. And I had on these little pants. And so we ended up catching a cab because we found out Rick James and everybody was at the Holiday Inn, you know. Oh, I think it was like, I forgot where it was, Wabash Avenue, something like that.
Okay.
So we ended up catching a cab there, and we saw the Stone City Band, and we was like, do you know where Prince at? We was like, we don't keep up with Prince. We don't know where Prince, you know. So we were disappointed that night, but I ended up seeing Andre Simone that night, and we talked and everything. And so the next night, when I was at Dingbat's, a guy came up to me after I was done dancing, and he said, "You look familiar." And I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Were you at the Rick James and Prince concert last night?" I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, wow." He's like, he was like, "How did you like the concert?" You know, we was talking and everything. And he said, "Wow." He said, then he started saying, "The Prince was like kind of bummed out last night." You know, I was like, "Why?" Because this girls was supposed to came backstage, and they were supposed to go out. And I was like, "Wait a minute, that was supposed to be me." He
Wow.
was like, "Yeah, she was supposed to came backstage and see the guy set me up." Because he was
Oh,
mad because, you know, I wouldn't, you know, he was trying to rap to me. I didn't want to hear what he had to say. And so he set me up.
okay.
And instead of,
Make
you
make
know,
make you miss your appointment.
right, he was supposed
Wow.
to bring me backstage, but he ended up saying that they was going to come get me, you know, by the stairway. And the guy said, no, you all were supposed to came backstage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So so what about the part where you was at some point supposed to be, you know, a band was supposed to be formed for Prince that included you? What happened with that?
What happened was, that's a long story too. Anyway, when I was at Dean Bass, they all came, not Prince though, but Vanity Six and Morris Day. They came to Dean Bass that one night, and they saw me dance and everything. And his name was last name was Finoli. I forgot his first name, but he came up to me, and that's when he asked me did I want to were I interested in choreographing for Vanity Six.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, you know.
Right.
So he introduced me to Vanity that night, and the next day I ended up working with them on some steps. And I worked with Susan on her song. I think it was called Makeup or something like that. I forgot the name of her song, but anyway, I ended up doing some choreography for them.
Okay.
So working with them, and then another time, Prince had a party at the Park West, and I ended up getting invited that night. And so I ended up on the stage dancing and everything. And Prince, he remembered me, and he watched me all night that night. And so I don't know how he found out how I was going to Joe Hall. I don't know, you Joe Hall dance studio.
Oh, okay.
I was on a scholarship program there. And one day I wasn't there because it was so cold that day. I hope Joe Hall ain't listening. And I didn't go that day. And so when I went back to class, they said some Prince people was looking for you. I was like, what? And yeah, they was looking for you and everything. And so I don't know, but it's a long story. And I used to dance with Kat too. I don't know, Kat.
Yeah.
But she we all used to dance at Dean Bats.
Okay.
And Ronnie, he was dancing there too, and another guy named James, and another female, Karen. But anyway, Kat, she ended up going to and my friend, my other best friend Dwayne. So Dwayne and Kat, they ended up going to LA. And my friend Dwayne was trying to get me to go to LA, but I ended up going to Minneapolis because I was trying to figure out why Prince, was looking for me and everything. And so he was trying to, he's getting ready to do Purple Rain. That's when they first, he got Purple Rain going, but I ended up missing out on it.
Right.
But I ended up being Graffiti Bridge though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, Prince, he used to play many games with me.
Wow.
So rest in peace, but
yeah,
many games.
Wow.
But he wanted to get a female band going.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the time, I was always walking with my guitar and everything. And so instead of him coming to me, he had this guy named Peter came up to me and said that Prince was trying to get a female band going. I heard you play guitar and everything. And I said, yeah. I started playing a little bit. And he said, well, we have rehearsals tomorrow at this warehouse on the south side. It was south side Minneapolis.
Okay.
And so he said he gave me the address and everything. And then I went there, and there was other girls there. One, the bass player, the keyboard player, and the drummer. But all the girls had egos, though.
Mm.
And so, we had a few rehearsals, and the one girl, she wanted to go solo. I forgot her name, and it didn't even really work out. So,
wow.
So he ended up trying to get a female band with the other dancer I used to dance with named Robin. Was trying to get a female band with her. So I don't know what happened with that. So,
wow.
But he didn't get that female band he really wanted. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So do you sing too, Marchelle?
Yeah, I do a little bit of singing.
Oh.
But I mainly did like writing songs.
Okay.
I have a song with Chippy called If You Only Knew.
Okay.
And what happened was Chippy and I, remember when they had the house mix on WJPC, WGCI?
Mm-hmm.
We was mainly just trying to get our son on the house music mix.
Okay.
And I ended up meeting Chippy through this one manager guy, and was telling me that he was looking for someone, to write songs and everything. So when I met Chip E, I'm told him about my song "If You Only Knew." I had the lyrics and everything already, and we came up. I had the best bass line, so we ended up putting the song together, and so excited trying to get it on WGCI, which it did get on WGCI, but it came so popular until it got on the one station. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, it ended up getting on radio format. So and made it to a Billboard.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So were you on a label particularly?
DJ International Records.
You were on DJ International? Really?
I really didn't get it was a lot of mess going on, with the record company. So I was supposed to do a deal, with DJ International Records. Yeah, I know Joe Smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't. Are you saying that it wasn't official with your deal, or
it wasn't official?
Okay,
yeah,
I see.
So
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Kevin Irvin as well.
Okay, but you did make, but you did put out some material.
I didn't get a chance to.
Oh,
so,
I see. I see. Wow.
And only thing that's out on DJ International Records was "If You Only Knew."
Okay, so you put that out.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
That was 1986, and it ended up winning Best Composition at the House Music Awards, and Chippy won for Best Artist. Yeah. So
I'm sorry to hear that. I have heard some bad stories too about DJ International. Not treating some of the artists, the way they should have been treated. And how you gonna put out some material if you're not even a signed artist on a label?
Right.
That don't even make sense, right?
Right. I went through Chip E, so
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's cool. I actually was trying to get Chippy to come on my show and do an interview.
Really?
And he had, I created a flyer for him and everything, and then something came up and he forgot. So we have to reschedule to get him on another time.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had Jesse Saunders on here. Jesse,
I met Jesse. Yeah.
Jesse gave us a good interview, and then I'm working on Farley, DJ Farley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He used to spend some time at Coconuts when I used to work there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Hot Mix 5 was huge back in the day,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back when they had WBMX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back in the early 80s. So, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so you have had a nice little ride there.
Yeah.
So someone just T just asked another question. He says, what's your profession now?
Right now I'm just working as customer service.
Okay.
In the healthcare field. But sometimes in my spare time, I may teach dance to young kids, and and also writing. I also have a book out.
Oh, really?
It's called J.T. Stevens Book 1. I'm supposed to been finished book 2.
Okay.
That's on Amazon.
Oh.
And I go by as Maggie Jones.
What is the book about?
It's a romance story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about 2 teens met in high school.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're a published author.
Yes.
Look at you. And you also, run the Chicago Soul Train page.
Yes.
Wow. Can you talk a little bit about that and what made you want to do that?
I just wanted people to know about our side of the story, and I wish I had videos and everything to show, because they always talking about the LA Soul Train dancers all the time. I'm like, what about the Chicago Soul Train dancers?
Yes.
Don't leave us out.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's what made me, come up with the page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
everybody, you know, 'cause some people said they didn't even know Jermaine Stewart used to dance with Chicago Soul Train. They send me comments every day. So
yeah.
people are so excited. It's almost at 10K now.
Wow.
Because it started out with just, I say about 100 followers, and
Yeah.
now it's up to almost 10K.
Yeah. 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 It's just so
Yeah.
that, and that just shows you that there are interests. There are interested people out there in it. And again, you know, I'm glad, because when I found it, you know, I stumbled across it one night and I looked, I double take, you know, like, what? Chicago Soul Train. Okay, you know, I didn't know who was running it. I'm like, let me send a message. And I thank you for responding.
Okay. You're
Yeah, because
welcome.
there is another Soul Train page out there too that
Mhm.
somebody's operating, but they never responded back to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the LA one, I think. Yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not really sure. Let me see here. Because it had a nice logo on there too.
Hmm.
Um, and I know there's several in California, but this one was actually I could have sworn it was a Chicago one actually, because but I could be wrong, but it had a black and white logo on there.
Hmm.
And when I seen it, I said, "Ooh, you know, because I know with yours you has the C, the letter C,
Yes.
and then it says Chicago Soul Train." But now I can't find it right now, of course, but I'll have to look for it. But anyhow, you know, I think it's very needed. It's very necessary for us to
Hmm.
create content and share content, you know,
Yes.
research content, you know, about what we've done here in Chicago.
Right.
And that's pretty much what I've been trying to do here, you know, and my team with this platform. And this is my fourth year doing this. So
Okay.
you know, and my partner, he's been doing it since 2013. He actually launched this platform, and
Okay.
it was all to showcase talented people. You know,
That's great.
yeah, tell people that, let people come on here and get some light and shine their
Yeah.
light and tell their stories.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And shout out to Renee for her pictures and
yeah, thank you,
everything.
Renee. Thank you,
Renee.
Renee. Yeah, I look forward to talking with Renee, and hopefully we can get her for to be booked on a future show on a future date.
And she has plenty of stories.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I am sure. Like I seen that picture of them where they was all leaned over on top of the police car,
Yeah.
and I said, "Wow, look at this classic image." That's why I was like, "Who photo album did you get a hold to?" You know, because I love pictures, by the way. You know,
Hmm.
I love pictures, and you know, I curate a museum here with some other partners of mine in Chicago, and it's called the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum. And we just highlight our history and our heritage. You know, it's very educational.
I would
Yeah,
like to see that. Be there one day to see it.
yeah. I
So.
look forward to you visiting Chicago, and we'll definitely give you a great tour. In fact, the area that we're in is the Bronzeville community, which is the same community that Don Cornelius came up out of.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, because
Okay.
he went to DuSable High School. You know,
Hmm.
I went to Dunbar because most of my family went to Dunbar, and that's the same high school that Mr. T went to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, he was
Yeah.
in the class with my mom,
Hmm.
so they went to high school together. But by the
Hmm.
time I got there, he was long gone. But we still had like a picture of him in the school, you know,
Oh, wow.
because Dunbar is a vocational school, and so it's a lot of stars. As a matter of fact, Lou Rawls went there. What's her name? The young artist. What is her name? Singer. I think her first name is Jennifer,
Um,
and I can't
Jennifer
think.
Holliday.
No, and she has her own talk show now. I can't think of her last.
Oh, Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson. Yes,
Okay.
yes. She went to Dunbar as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dunbar
I
has
didn't know that.
Dunbar has a long celebrity list, shall I say?
Okay.
Yeah. My mom and my aunt, and my uncles. One of my uncles, anyway. Most of my family went to Dunbar because my family came from the Robert Taylor projects back in the days.
Hmm.
And they wasn't far down the street, and that's why they ended up all going to. Most of them went to Dunbar. My uncles and aunts. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so what would you like to say in conclusion? Like what uh-oh, looks like we might have lost her. Wow, and it was just coming to the conclusion. So I don't know if she'll be back, everyone, but I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. It was really a great episode. Once again, I really enjoyed talking to Marchelle. Very insightful, interesting history to talk about the Soul Train, the Chicago version of the local Soul Train here in Chicago, and hear that in that perspective of it. Very interesting. Thank you so much, and thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for participating with your comments. You know, thank you all for everything. We'll be back once again next Friday with another fresh episode of Rep Your City Fresh Fridays. And also for those that want to come out and show your love at our event this weekend, we got the Brandy's Disco Ball. Brandy's Disco Ball will be coming to you tomorrow. We have a private event at the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum, which is located at 4505 South Indiana. That's 4505 South Indiana. You can come if you have an invitation. Now that's invitation only, so it's a private event. Otherwise, you can come at regular scheduled hours on next Saturday from 12 to 5 to the museum. But then on Sunday, we have our main event, which is going to be taking place at the South Shore Cultural Center. So the South Shore Cultural Center, located at 7059 South Shore Drive. This is the Brandy's Disco Ball. This is the first time this event will be introduced to Chicago. Takes place Sunday, August 13th. Red carpet starts at 4 p.m. Showtime starts at 5 p.m. And this is to honor and celebrate the legends of Soul Train, the Soul Train dancers. And we will have all type of other great activities taking place there. And of course, including dancing. So come on out. If you want to get your tickets, make sure you go to newschoolsingsoldschool.com, newschoolsingsoldschool.com, or you can reach out to the event producer. Her name is Brandy Sanders. That's Brandy Sanders. And she'll be more than happy to get you your ticket for general admission. And come on down and show your love. We hope to see you there. It's going to be great. We also celebrate 50 years of hip hop this weekend, y'all. Today is marked 50 years. We made it 50 to see 50. So we're going to have tons of celebrations going on throughout the weekend all around the world. All type of stuff is going on in New York, but we're going to be doing great things right here in Chicago. Also on Sunday, we got the Force Tour with LL Cool J and the Roots and Common. They're going to be performing and several other artists are going to be performing at the United Center on the west side of Chicago. So if you are interested in that, make sure you get your tickets. You can buy those tickets online as well. And then we got another event called Battle for the Eagle. Battle for the Eagle takes place this Sunday on the north side in the Logan Square community. Okay, so if anybody familiar with the Battle for the Eagle event, come on out and show your love. That's a free event out in the park. It's a free outdoor event. So, yeah, so it's been great. I want to say peace and love to everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in. And once again, we'll be back next Friday with another fresh episode. And until then, y'all, make sure y'all don't forget to what? Rep your city. All right, y'all. One love. I'm Artistic and I'm out. Peace.